Okay, this is a neat little utility for sketching graphs. In this case, we're going to be sketching a absolute value function. If you look at the bottom here, you can see the V-shaped one is the absolute value one, so I'm going to be clicking on that. And notice there's two red dots there. What you want to do is find the vertex first, and then, so you're going to click on the vertex, and then you're going to click on one other point that's on the absolute value function. So over here to the right, I need to find the vertex first. Inside my absolute value is where I find if the vertex is going to shift off the origin either left or right. And with a -2, that means it's going to shift 2 units to the right. So I know that the x-coordinate of my vertex is going to be at +2. Don't forget that if there's something other than 1 in front of the x, the coefficient on x, you have to divide by that to get your x value. The y value, I look to see outside the absolute value function if anything's being added or subtracted. And in this case, since there's not, I know that my vertex is not going to shift up or down. If there is something outside, a plus shifts it up and a negative shifts it down. So now I've got my vertex. I always like to make a table of values to do some checking here. So the first thing I did is I put in the middle of the table the vertex, and then I chose x values that are less than 2 and greater than 2. So I'm going to just test out a couple values here. If I put a 1 in for x, it's going to say the absolute value of 1 minus 2 is -1, but the absolute value of -1 is 1. Now, because this is symmetric, if I put in a 3, I should get the same answer out. If I put in a 3 for x and subtract 2, I get the absolute value of +1, which is 1. So I get this reflection. Let's try 0. If I put a 0 in for x, it'll say 0 minus 2 is -2. The absolute value of -2 is +2. And then, so if I put in a 4, 4 minus 2 is +2. The absolute value of +2 is 2. So there's my reflection as well. Okay, now to use this utility, I click on the V shape. I'm going to click on my vertex first, 2, 0. You have to be fairly accurate here, so I'm clicking there. Now when I do that, if I move my pencil around, I can see the V shape. So I just keep moving it until I click on one of the other points. For example, one of the points is 1, 1. So I'm going to click on 1, 1. That sets it in. Oops, I got to pop up there. Oops, I got another one. Oops, if that happens, you can clear. Let me try this again. 2, 0. This is a little bit frustrating first time you do it. 1, 1 is one of the points. So 1, 1. And there we go. Let's just examine this again. So I can see that the vertex shifted 2 units to the right. And again, inside here I had a -2, so it shifts just the opposite of what you might think. A -2 shifts it 2 to the right. Because I didn't have anything added or subtracted on the outside, it didn't shift up or down. If you look outside the absolute value, there's nothing. If there had been a negative, this V shape would be upside down or opening down. Because it's positive or implied to be +1, it's opening up.